Shalom. Laha Alahayim. Peace to the gods. Nawathan Kal Halal Yamla. Yahweh Bahasham. Yahweh Shai Bahasham. Racha HaKodash. Giving all praises to Yahweh in the name Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors into the elder apostles, elder bishops, and the heads and elders of all the camps of Great Millstone GMS who do rule well, who I've learned this 100% truth from, who are the true leaders of all Yasha Allah Israel today, whether you can receive that or not. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayaf, the water, or Dawayad, the house of David, the tabernacle of David, scattered abroad, the remnant of Yasha Allah. Starting with the governing body in the kingdom to come, the 144,000, 12,000 men, prophets of each of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, 12,000 of each tribe, as well as the innumerable multitude of men, women, and children outside of the office of a prophet, all right, that rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of their ability, okay, and believing on the gospel spoken by the prophets as a vessel, right, through via the spirit of Yahweh Shem El Shai, okay, scattered across the four winds of the earth, as well as the 1/3 of men, women, and children here in Babylon the Great. This is your brother Tazapani of the Great Millstone, Washington, D.C. Church. I don't want to rock the Zah. Lord willing, this quick hit spiritual commentary is edifying to the elect. So as you can see in the lesson, it's more and more the beast hating the whore. All right. A little scales on top of your head top. But a little rhyme action right there. But as time is going on, we are seeing how the prophecies is speaking. Okay, let's go and get that real quick in Habakkuk. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, for the vision is the prophecies. Okay, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, and that appointed time is now. Okay, that the Lord appointed the prophecies, certain prophecies, to manifest at this time that we're in right now, pursuing the second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 1. Measure the time thou diligently in itself. So while you're in and living in certain times, you're using the Bible, specifically the prophecies, to measure, to gauge where you at, all right, on the prophetical timeline, so to speak. Right? It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. And that's the point. Because these things are speaking now because we're at the end. Okay? It says, and not lie, right? Because the Lord is not a man that he shall lie, as the scriptures say. Okay? What does that mean? That means that when he says something in the scriptures and he uses his prophets to say it, if they are, a true prophet, then it's going to come to pass. Because, and the reason I said that is because, he in the scriptures is talked about lying spirits that he would put on a false prophet. We can go into that, you know what I'm saying, on how, the sons of God, the angels, standing on his right hand and on his left hand, right? That's in, I think the account is in First Kings, but that's pretty much the point, Continuing on, it says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. So even though it seems like it's taking long, and imagine how much from back then when Habakkuk was prophesying. So we have less time now, but then you got brothers that's falling out, when we at the end of this thing, we at the home stretch. The scriptures say, though it tarry, though it seem like Yahweh Shah is taking his time to come back, wait for it. You're supposed to wait for the salvation of the Lord. It says, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. It's not going to take long. Okay? So what we about to hear here, right? Nero President Trump. President Trump is a reincarnation of the ancient Roman Caesar Nero, whether you can receive that or not. The patterns, you know, is overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming, man. Okay, and the way he's acting is if Isaiah 19, that fierce king and cruel Lord, man. Okay, so watch what he's about to say, and we're gonna get some scriptures, and then you're gonna see why I named this video this topic. So let's get it.
10 or 12.
The president of the USA discussing a new deadline for the country of Russia.
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made. I will. I'm not a fan of your mayor. I think he's done a terrible job. The mayor of London, but the nasty person. I think he's done. I think he's a friend of mine, right? No, I think he's done a terrible job. But I would certainly visit London. Yeah.
I love how Trump right now is not mincing words. He's not afraid to say that the United States of America has to be the strong United States of America once again. Now, our problem, Russia, China, Pakistan, Iran, all the BRICS countries, they're like, hey, you need some work over here, but they don't shun their allies. There's a chance that if this doesn't show us to be the big dog, if we don't pull out some things out of our magic hat here, we're going to have a problem because our enemies are against us and our allies will go to BRICS. Our allies will turn against us.
So you see how he kind of started off with like, yo, Trump is doing the thing of trying to show like he's strong and he's America first, but he's talking bad about his allies. We're talking about the country that birthed America, Great Britain. Great Britain. So when the scriptures, see, this is how you know the scriptures, the word of the Lord, man, is thou shalt not want no mate, she shall not want no mate, man. You can't link the Bible with any other book. It is literally superior. The Bible is supreme. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Okay. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 20. It says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell. All right. So when you get into it, these 10 horns was literally the provinces of ancient Rome, which is now, the European Union, because we're in the Roman Empire all over again. It is reincarnated, the spirit, so to speak. Okay. The European Union, which is the economic bloc of the Edomites in Europe, the bottomless pit, which is Europe. Okay. It started with 10 countries and it's now some 28 countries, so on and so forth, right? These 10 horns being is symbolic for power. So this is supposedly an economic power, 10 of them that started at first and it grew, which is the same thing from back then regarding the Gauls, the Visigoths, so on and so forth, when you go into the history. All right. And the whom 3 fell. The 3 fell is going into the falling of the certain countries or empires, if you want to use that word, in order for America to rise, which would be what? The eastern seaboard of America, which was Britain, right? The central section, which would be France, right? So you had the 13 colonies from Britain, the central, which the Louisiana Purchase, which they did after Levi, 1804, and all the money they spent to try to fight Levi and they lost. So they had to sell the Louisiana Purchase, the middle of America, in order to finance or the war that was going on in the island of Hispaniola. Okay, and then on the west seaboard, you have the Spanish Empire. Okay, with the I think it's called the Spanish American War, things of that nature, and all those have to fall in order for America to rise up. And continuing on, it says, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. See? So who is more stout than his fellow? This is talking about the American Edomite. The fellows is the other Edomites. So the American Edomite, the Babylonian, Egyptian Edomite, so to speak, spiritually, is more stout. Let's look up that word stout in the etymology real quick. All right. It says valiant, brave, circa 1300, skilled in battle, proud, haughty, fierce. Whoa. Woo, cruel. All right. This is how you know it's skilled in battle, because Babylon, it was the hammer of the whole earth, as it says in the book of Jeremiah. So imagine if you could see on the screen, you got, I don't know if that's Australia, Great Britain's flag, American flag, right? And you like, yo, I don't like the mayor. He's stupid. He bugged out. Like what type of shit is you on? You was super proud. You see? And that attitude is going to lead to other countries, which is going to lead to irrational financial / military decisions that is going to cause NATO / the EU to hate, dislike, disdain, look at America with an evil eye, to the point where they're willing to side with the enemy, aka, like she said, BRICS nations, whatever, to press the button after Russia presses it first. You see? Let's continue.
So unless there's some backroom hidden dealings that say if you turn against America, we're nuking your city to a whole town of glass, then we might experience some problems very soon.
So let's
I
listen.
want to show you
That was really the point. Let's listen to that again.
in words. He's not. The factories there, the semiconductors, not going to be much good to you underwater.
50 days.
Here's the president of the USA discussing a new deadline for the country of Russia.
Now it's crazy because Russia, Lord willing, I could do a video in the morning. Just had an 8.7 earthquake. We talking about high. Who know? The first thing that comes to my mind is a nuclear test, a nuclear bomb test. That's me. But I could be wrong. But the scriptures talk about earthquakes in diverse places. This is how you know we at the end. But there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, things you got to filter, and so on and so forth. But we at the end of this thing. Do not expect for you to grow old and die. No. This generation is going to see Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, come back. A dark-skinned man with woolly hair, man, from the tribe of Judah, related to the so-called Black American Negro. He is going to return soon, and that's what we're preparing for, and that's the gospel, because he's going to establish his kingdom on earth as it is now. Okay?
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today.
And just like Elder Apostle Tahar said, this nigga don't know what the fuck he doing, man. You see what I'm saying? This nigga, like, I heard somebody said all he knows is real estate. If that, It shows you that the economy and money is really all that America cares about. Capitalism. So remember, the love of money is the root of all evil. What country has the most love of money? I'll let you answer that.
There's no reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made. I will. I'm not a fan of your mayor. I think he's done a terrible job. The mayor of London, but the nasty person. I think he's done. I think he's a friend of mine. No, I think he's.
So look, you see the other Edomite is trying to be like, yo, chill, like he's a friend of mine, and you talking crazy about him. You see, but Trump don't give a fuck because he's more stout, which we looked up the etymology, which is proud, skilled in battle, haughty, right? And the scriptures say pride goes before a fall. You know? So this is it. This is it. This is him. We believe through the Spirit, this is the guy that's going to push the chip, and that's going to be the one in office for Yahushua to come back. Lord willing. Lord willing. Because, I mean, the way he's moving, like, come on, man. You know, the U.S., the crypto capital of the world, the future of finance, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency. Like, come on, bro.
Done a terrible job, but I would certainly visit London.
I love how Trump right now is not mincing words. He's not afraid to say that the United States of America has to be the strong United States of America once again. Now,
so no, I think what he's talking is sarcasm. Like, I love how Trump is, because he wants to be for America, but he sees how talking like that would affect American people. You see?
our problem, Russia, China, Pakistan, Iran, all the BRICS countries, they're like, hey, you need some work over here, but they don't shun their allies.
So the BRICS countries, let's just say Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Let's say if Russia and China told South Africa, India, and Brazil, like, yo, I like what you're doing, but, you know, your president, you're this and you're that, he's doing a terrible job. They not talking about their allies like that. But Trump is. You see? So this is what, so now I'm going to get the precept, the main precept. Let's go to the book of Revelation. This is Revelation, Slakia, chapter 17. Let's start at verse 14. Fuck it. Revelation 17 and 14. In the Blue Letter Bible, it says victory for the Lamb. So the Lamb of God, which is Yahushua, because he was the perfect sacrifice, all right, he already had the victory over death for the Israelites, okay, sitting at the right hand of Yahweh. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb. Okay, which of these? When you go up, it's talking about the 10 horns and the 10 kings. All right. So specifically, all right, the Western civilization, the EU and NATO and things of that nature, they're going to make war with Yahushua. You can read that in 2nd Esdras chapter 13 as well. It says, and the Lamb shall overcome them. So Yahushua is going to, you know, do these niggas dirty, as the world would say. It says, for he is the Lord of lords, right? The master of masters and the King of kings. You see, so he is the authority over all, you know, the magistrate over all magistrates, the sovereign over all sovereigns. It says, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. You see, doesn't the scripture say many are called, few are chosen? So those that is with him was called, all Israel, chosen, the elect of Israel, All right, and faithful, because the elect of Israel is going to have faith. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth, right? And the whore is Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay, it says, are peoples, multitudes, and nations and tongues, because all people dwell in America, from every nation in Genesis 10. Every language is spoke in America. Okay, that's what tongues is. Verse 16, and the 10 horns, which is the EU, which was at first the EEC, the European Economic Commission, which is now the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast. So the European Union is on top of NATO. Okay, these shall hate the whore. All right. So the European Union, the nations that's in that, is going to hate America and shall make her desolate and naked. They're going to reveal her secrets. They're going to leave her alone. Desolate meaning you're by yourself. Naked means you're without clothes, which in the scriptures is symbolic for your sin being shown. So they're gonna help, in a sense, show the transgressions of the law that America has done as a kingdom, and shall eat her flesh, right, and burn her with fire, which is all symbolic for sending the missiles upon America. So the European nations, London included, Great Britain, with the rest of the European Union nations, they're going to help send missiles, ICBMs, with Russia and whoever else to hit America. All right. And that's pretty much the point. So I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Lord willing, I was edifying to the elect, but more and more we seeing the beast hate the whore. You heard? All right. So because me personally, I've always wondered, like, damn, like how these other Edomites, because I know they was beefing with each other, and Yahweh Shah said, "A house divided against itself shall not stand." So I know Esau had the beef with Esau. You know what I'm saying? But more and more we're seeing Trump talking crazy, especially to these European Edomites, as if they're somewhat different than them. Nah, y'all are descendants from them, and because of how y'all acting, y'all gonna put the the trap, the snare upon your own head, the fire, the coals upon your own head. And that's how the Lord works. Galatians 6:7, for the Lord, the Most High is not mocked. But whatever a man shall sow, the same shall he reap. All right. So they sown pride and wickedness amongst the earth. They're gonna reap, what the fruit of that characteristics are, which is just nothing but fire and death. So with that, I'm gonna say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. On to the next one. Shalom.